Welcome to Kleschka Picks, week number 7, Kleschka Crew. I have been on fire with my predictions. I went 12-2 last week. The week before, I also had only 2 losses in my prediction. So, your boy's on a little bit of a roll. My record for the whole season, 71-23. It has been pretty good so far for good old Austin Kleschka. The Thursday game kicked us off with the Broncos and the Browns. The Broncos played the Raiders, took an L. They were actually in it for a lot of the game. They were fighting the whole way, but the Raiders were able to run away with it in the end. And the Browns, they were hit hard by the injury bug and the undefeated Cardinals. Only team without a loss in the entire NFL. And then the Browns were also, like I said, I mentioned, they were hit hard, very hard by the injury bug. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, both hurt. And Baker Mayfield, Odell Beckham Jr., both taking shots the past week. They're on short rest. That's not a good recipe for victory. And that is why I think the Broncos actually have a chance this week. The Browns defense has been allowing a lot of points lately, and I think the Broncos will be able to take advantage of that combined with the injuries they have right now. And I actually think they'll be able to get the victory. I think the Broncos win 24-20. Chiefs and Titans. The Titans played against the Bills last week, got a big win, mainly thanks to this man, King Henry. Big performance in primetime football. The Bills tried to go for it on 4th down to get a score and win the game, but the Titans stopped them. Josh Allen was short, and that secured it for the Titans. And the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes has been struggling, and it's not helping when Jackson Mahomes is dancing on NFL tributes of former players. Anyways, if Mahomes does not get back on track, it's going to be a struggle for him against the top tier teams. He can be fine struggling and playing the lower end teams like he was last week with Washington. He had his struggles in the first half, but he was able to turn around in the second half. Washington football team, nowhere to be seen in the second half, and that is why he was able to ride to victory in that game. But against a team like the Titans, definitely better than the football team. It's going to be more of a challenge for Mahomes and the Chiefs. And unless we start seeing the Mahomes of old, the Mahomes we've seen the past years, I think the Titans actually had the momentum going into this one, mainly thanks to that man again, Derrick Henry. And I think it's going to be a close one, but I think if Mahomes keeps struggling, which I think will happen because this is tough competition, I think the Titans win 31-27. Falcons and Dolphins. The Falcons were on a bye week last week, and the Dolphins played in London, baby! And they lost to the Jaguars. And they are going to be in a matchup here. 2 teams that are at the bottom of the league. And I think Tua, coming back in London, having a decent game, will be able to do that once again here against Atlanta. Not a top tier team. Defense will struggle on both sides. But I think Tua will be able to come out on top with the Dolphins, 27-23. Panthers and Giants. The Panthers played the Vikings last week in a crushing loss for Carolina. They were able to put a final drive together to get a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to send it to overtime, only for the Vikings to get the win on their first drive, getting a game-winning touchdown. The Giants are hit hard by injuries. I said the Browns were, the Giants, my goodness. Daniel Jones played last week, but Saquon hurt, Tony hurt, Galladay hurt. This team is struggling right now, and even if they were fully healthy, it's not the best team on planet Earth. And, you know, Sam Darnold has been pretty good against the average, below average teams. And I think with this defense of the Giants and the injuries that they are suffering, I think Sam Darnold and the Panthers will be able to succeed with their pass attack. And I think the Panthers will beat the Giants 30-17. Bengals and Ravens. Both of these teams ripped apart their opponents last week. The Bengals did it to the Lions. Joe Burrow having a solid day. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens still performing, looking like one of the best teams in football. They went absolutely nuts with their veteran running backs, Devonta Freeman, Le'Veon Bell, and I can't remember the last one right now, but I know there's another one. And this week, division rivalry, Joe Burrow having a good season, but Lamar Jackson is having a better season, and he's doing it with the legs, he's doing it with the arm, and I think he'll score a lot of points, just like he did against the Chargers last week. The defense confuses me, but Lamar Jackson, I have no doubts on that, man. So give me Lamar Jackson and the Ravens beating the Bengals 33-24. Packers and football team. Aaron Rodgers still owns you, Chicago Bears. He beat them last week with his Packers teammates, and Aaron Rodgers, he really does. when he says that, he means it. He does own the Bears in his history as quarterback for Green Bay. The football team could not own Patrick Mahomes last week. It seemed like they had something in the first half. Mahomes looked like a little pee-wee football player throwing the ball like crazy for some reason. And he also had a tipped interception, which made me very angry. Tyreek Hill, can you catch the ball and stop causing my fantasy quarterback interceptions? Football team were able to lose to a struggling Patrick Mahomes. And then now you got to face Aaron Rodgers, who has been on fire ever since they took that first week loss. I don't think it's going to be good for you guys. You're giving up points. Aaron Rodgers is got a chip on his shoulder after this offseason, and I think that he is going to absolutely annihilate this football team. They might not, their name right now is the Washington football team, but they might literally have no name after this game. When we refer to them, they just might be, that might be their name. Anyways, Aaron Rodgers, Packers, I think beat the football team 31-20. Patriots and Jets. Jets were on a bye week last week, but does them getting a whole week off really matter? It's the Jets. Then you got the Patriots, who lost, but it was a tough loss, man. It was a battle between them and the Cowboys. They were going back and forth, score after score, defense producing, then coming right back out there hitting a long touchdown. In the end, they take the L in overtime, and I think it'll be a walk in the park for the Patriots. They need a confidence boost after what happened to them last week, and it's going to be a pretty easy one here against the Jets. I think they win 24-13. Rams and Lions. The Rams got a big win over the Giants last week. Cooper Kupp looking like the dominant receiver. Once again, love having him on my fantasy team. They absolutely tore their defense apart. The defense was strong, and then they get to face the Lions. This is Jared Goff's return game, but I don't think that'll be the focus. He'll probably struggle a lot. He got to have that defense on his side all those years. Now you get to see what it's like to face them, and I don't think you're going to have fun. Detroit does not have the weapons to get past this Los Angeles defense. The Rams offense has all the weapons, so give me the Rams beating the Lions, absolutely destroying them, annihilating them, tearing them to pieces, 34-10. Raiders and Eagles. The Eagles took an L last week to the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers had momentum basically all game, and they did get the win, but the Eagles, they were fighting all the way to the end as best as they could. They could not pull it off. The Raiders, they were able to hold on against the Broncos. The problem I see with the Eagles is they rely too much on Jalen Hurts. They got to utilize Miles Sanders more. They're just expecting Hurts to go out there, make every single throw, every single touchdown pass, and just expect everything to be A-okay. That's not going to be the case. Even though Derek Carr and the Raiders have had to struggle with the media and everything that's been going on with that team lately, I think they'll be fine. They proved it last week, and I think they'll prove it again this week. I just don't see the offense of the Eagles being reliant on Jalen Hurts being a winning strategy. And I think with the balanced attack with Derek Carr, Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller, and a solid receiving core, I think the Raiders will be fine. I also like their defense. So give me the Raiders beating the Eagles 27-17. Buccaneers and Bears. The Buccaneers, just mentioned, beat the Eagles last week. Tom Brady doing typical Tom Brady things. How is this man in his 40s and just constantly being good? I don't get it. I hope I can play to that level when I am 40 years old. I hope I'm still that athletic and don't have lower back problems. Then we got the Bears, who had lots of problems facing Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, he owns your franchise. And this week, I actually think it'll be a closer game. The Bears defense, to a level, kind of like this defense, but Tampa Bay, too many weapons. How do you go against that? And then he's got all the weapons in the receiving corps. They all came back. Their chemistry is strong. And even though I've said all this about the Buccaneers, I still think it'll be a close one, but I do think they win 24-17 over the Bears. Texans and Cardinals. The Cardinals, they beat the Browns last week without their head coach, their play caller, Cliff Kingsbury. He had COVID protocol, and they still had no problems at all. They were fine. Kyler Murray, when you're an MVP, those are the things you do. That's MVP type beat right there. They don't have any of that in Houston. They were absolutely destroyed by the Colts. I think that is going to be the same case this week for the Texans. The defense is bad. The offense is bad. Arizona's defense is good. Their offense is amazing. And their quarterback is an MVP type player. So give me the Cardinals absolutely annihilating the Texans. 33-13. Colts and 49ers. The 49ers had a bye week last week, and Colts, we just talked about it, destroyed the Texans. Ever since Carson Wentz returned from injury for the Colts, they've been pretty good. Carson Wentz has looked solid. Did good against the Ravens. He took an L there, but he did not look bad in that game. And then he looked great last week. The 49ers, they're trying to figure it out with Trey Lance and Jimmy Garoppolo. And if you're having problems just switching between quarterbacks, not really sure which one you're going to use yet, you haven't really settled one yet, then I predict struggle. They got injuries with George Kittle. The defense is all right. And I think the Colts, with the momentum ever since they got Carson Wentz back, could actually pull this up. And I think Carson Wentz battles against this defense. I think the 49ers struggle with the passing attack and the rushing attack. So I think they'll capitalize, the Colts and Carson Wentz, and I think they will beat the 49ers 24-20. Somehow I forgot the Seahawks and Saints. Geno Smith is not my hero. The Saints are coming back from a bye week. I think they are going to have it pretty easy this week against our backup QB and our meh defense. So give me the Saints winning 30-20. If you made it to the end of this Kleschka Picks, then I want all of you to go to my Instagram and send me your best football memes, because if you've noticed, I've been putting them back here when I film these videos. So hit up the Instagram, send me your best meme pictures of football, and you might see it right here. Go in the comments, tell me, check my DMs if you've done that, and then I'll go check it out. You might see your picture behind me in the next episode next week. Like the video, subscribe, tell your mom, your dad, your grandma, your grandpa, your pets, friends, your brother, your sister, your aunt, or uncle, everybody you know I got this, and I will see you next time.